Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grab that cup of coffee. You have reached the Calvin Dean Show. Every Saturday, what do? We go over fantasy football. We call it Fantasy Football Roundup. It's going to be a fun one, guys. Like I have my coffee in my hand. Nice, dark, rich coffee. Just love it, love it, love it. Doesn't get better than that, that's for sure. Hey, guys, this will be our last fantasy show, but I will be on the air every Saturday morning when it's going through playoffs, all that stuff. We need to go over that stuff. I will have our regular Thursday morning show, and then I also have a under 4-minute review on all my picks. And then I have my Saturday show. So we actually have 3 shows goes on. The longer show is being the podcast on Thursday morning, and it usually lasts almost an hour. I go over everything, all the stats, everything about why I'm picking who. And then the second show usually is under 4 minutes, and it's a quick picks. My quick pick show is usually every Friday night. Anyway, guys, let's just get to it, man. I'm glad, I told everyone about Joe Flacco. Hey, this guy is on fire, man. He's on fire. I picked him up on one of my leagues. Like I said, I was in 62 leagues. 41 of them went to the championship round. And it's very important to stay on top of things. And I'll tell you the reason why. I made a mistake. Yeah, me. And what happened is that Keenan Allen, I had him in almost, I probably had him out of the 41 teams. I had him in around 12 of them. And I forgot. I didn't look at the schedule, and of course I have so many teams, it's really hard. He was a last minute scratch on last week, and guess what, 8 out of the 12 teams lost because of that. I literally lost by a few points. If I would have started my other wide receiver, I would have won all 8 games. So there you go. That's the reason why you always have to stay on top of it. Of course, not everyone has 62 teams, and it's really tough to navigate it all. But, hey, Bryce Hall, hopefully everyone had Bryce Hall on the Jets, and the Browns defense scored a touchdown, same as the Jets did well. But, man, 37-20, that was my lock of the week, too, guys. On Thursday morning, I give out my lock and my all the picks, lock and upset special and all that good stuff. And that was my lock of the week, and man, I was right on top of it. I knew they were going to romp over. I knew they'd do the over too. I think the over under was like 36. There was no way they were going to get under 36 points. I just didn't see it happening. Now with Joe Flacco, it's all about Joe Flacco, guys. The guy was on a couch a few weeks ago. On a couch, just sitting on a couch. Well, not literally sitting on the couch, but I'm sure he was just on couch watching TV and football, and suddenly he gets a phone call. The guy is really good. He still has it. He's a professional, and he's an adult. There's a lot of these guys aren't adults that are quarterbacks these days. Look at, I'm sorry, Deshaun Watson, literally, I don't understand. He's kind of weird in a sense. I'm sorry, but it's kind of weird what happened with him, with the sexual stuff, and I don't want to get into it, but it was kind of weird stuff, wasn't it? Really, think about it. Wasn't it weird, guys? The guy's weird. Come on, really. Oh, man. But anyway, and then he's, they're going to have to really rethink everyone's contract, because the Browns are going to be so over the cap next year with Deshaun Watson and the rest of the crew. I mean, there's just three guys who are, just gonna be 56. There's three players on the Browns next year, or it's going to take the salary to 56%. That means that 50 players, 50 players, other players, would have to share 44% of the salary cap. That ain't going to happen. That's Myles Garrett, right? The edge rusher, and Amari Cooper, the wideout. I mean, look at this. The funny thing is Joe Flacco won last week, Thursday, this last week, and he won without Amari Cooper. I mean, out all these starters, and he still won. And he still did really well. I mean, wow. I mean, I was just really, really impressed. I've been impressed with him. He's a great game manager. That's the thing. I really get upset listening to about Brock Purdy. He's just a game manager. He's not really a true quarterback, yada, yada. Every single quarterback is a game manager for that team. They all manage that offense. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just don't get it. I think a lot of people are jealous of the San Francisco 49ers success, so they have to break on something. And oh my God, he lost a game last week. He's falling apart. He's not in the running for the MVP. Oh my God. But the thing of it is, if you listen to my shows, early on shows, before the season started, you would hear me predict. I predicted that the 49ers would end up 13-4. I predicted that the Baltimore Ravens would end up 14-3, and I predicted that Lamar Jackson would win the MVP. Am I right on or what, guys? I mean, think about it. Am I right on or what, huh? I am very right on. I mean, just knocking it out of the park with all these predictions. I don't know. I just know I study this 24/7. This is my life, guys. I just love football. I love the NFL, and I just love getting into everything that it takes to get into the minds of a coach and look at the players around everyone. How about CJ Stroud, everyone? CJ Stroud, let's talk fantasy football right now. That's what this show is all about. And CJ Stroud, yes, he is off the injury report. He passed concussion protocol. He will be playing against the Titans this weekend. And man, it's just in time. He's just such a phenomenal player. I have him on some of my fantasy football teams. I will be playing him. Russell Wilson. Well, he will be sitting in the bench, guys. Russell reviews that Broncos approached him about contract during the bye week. Weeks ago, guys. Weeks ago. Amazing, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, but I mean, just, he took it like a man. He was, we already went over the Russell Wilson thing, that's for sure. And, he knew about it. He knew it was possible at the end of October. Wilson spoke to media members Friday and said that Broncos approached him with a demand entering their week bye, which was week 9 bye, with a demand. We beat the Chiefs. They beat the Chiefs. They came up to me during the bye week, the beginning of the bye week. This is what Russell's saying, Monday or Tuesday, and they told me that if I didn't change my contract, my injury guarantee, that I would be benched for the rest of the year. I mean, wow, this is after they beat the Chiefs, right? Yay, Russell, right? Great job. And then they come up to them and it's just, wow. and and we had 9 games left or so. 9 games left. Wow. And, Russell said I was definitely disappointed about it. And it was a process throughout the whole week for the whole bye week. I mean, it was Wilson declined to change his contract, continued playing, helping the Broncos win 3 straight after the bye, propelling Denver into relevance into the playoff hunt, right? Since then, they've lost 3 of the last 4, watching the postseason hopes just fade away, right? With 2 games left, Denver has decided to change their quarterback, benching Russell Wilson this week for Jared Stidham, forcing Wilson to process suddenly, uncertainly regarding his future. Wow. And this is what Russ says. You know what I want to be here? I want to play here. I want to be able to win here. I want to win championships here. I want to give all my just everything. He wants to give everything, no matter what. He wants to give it all to this team. Wow, I mean, just to read this stuff, and he's just pouring his heart out to everyone, man. No matter what the score is, I want to be the best teammate, the leader that I can be in the midst of all it. And what it is that, I think we went over this. There's if he got hurt, and let's say he gets hurt in the next 2 games, come March they have a physical, and if he doesn't pass his physical, they would owe him a lot of money. See, I'll explain to you how the contract works with Russell. Just do this really quickly. Russell's contract is set to balloon in terms of value, cap number, over the next few years, right? Starting with $13.4 million jump in salary in 2024. From there, it increases as high as $58.4 million in 2026, which would be Wilson's age 38. So, I mean, it'd be like right at this end of his career, right? Denver hasn't seen the production they anticipated when they acquired Wilson in a blockbuster deal prior to the 2022 season, and Coach Payton wasn't with the club when they made the deal. If Wilson doesn't fit Payton's future plans, the time is now to consider an alternative route. And I don't know if Jared Stidham is really an alternative route to actually bring a championship to Denver. I don't think it is. I really don't. I don't know who else they could go out and get. It's I don't know. It's murky. It's murky. I don't know any other quarterback that would be available to come to Denver. I know that the Bears aren't really happy with Justin Fields, but once again, it would be, who knows if he's going to be able to do what he wants to, if they do what they want to do, especially with Justin Fields. The guy is just not, he's not consistent enough. He plays out of his mind. Yes, he does. Justin Fields does, but then he'll come, and then there would be a game that he's just terrible, and then there would be a game that he's just like a superstar. So you never know. I mean, by now, don't you think Justin Fields should be showing something? Like, he does show greatness, and then he shows that he is, not ready yet. It's just sad. It's sad. But it's the NFL, guys. Protecting the franchise financially would quickly become a priority for Denver in such a scenario, which seems that Denver's new reality, leaving Wilson to wonder whether he has a future with the Broncos at all. I mean, good for him. He just stood his ground and he said, no, I don't want to change my contract. Screw you. That's what I'd be saying. Screw you. Pay up, bitch. That's what I'd be saying, dude. Pay up. You paid me this money. You didn't give me the players that I need to to win a championship. That's for sure. Their defense, guys, it's not Russell Wilson, guys, in Denver. Think about it. It's the Denver Broncos. Their defense, guys, rank their defenses in the NFL? I'll tell you. Here we go. Let's go to the stats. Ranking for the defense of the Broncos. There's 32 teams. Right, guys? 32, right? Last time I checked. They are 30th. 30th in the NFL. 3-0. 3-0. Denver Broncos. 30th defense in the NFL. And they, Peyton's what Peyton's this. I don't know about Peyton. I'm not a big fan. He has to blame somebody on his poor coaching. So what is he going to do? Oh, it's Russell Wilson. Oh, come on, man. Really? Russell Wilson's QBR for the year is 98.5, the highest in the league. QBR. Okay? Quarterback rating. Highest in the league. He's the 7th ranked, overall 7th in the league. 7th ranked. I don't know, guys. I just don't see why. They're doing Russell the way I can see why they want to free up money, and Peyton doesn't. He butts heads with them. Well, screw you, Peyton. Guess what? Russell's going to be taking home some money, so you can take your ego and shove it up your nose, where it belongs, right? Your ego, Peyton, Sean Payton, is not your amigo. Just isn't. So let's just get to it, guys. Let's go right now. Let's get to fantasy football right now. Stop this whole Russell BS, right, guys? Come on now. I love it. Yeah, let's get to it. The Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys tonight. Saturday Night Football. I would start everyone on the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff, start him. Montgomery, start him. Jahmyr Gibbs, start him. Pollard, start him. Dak, start him. CeeDee Lamb, start. I mean, both defenses, you don't know. I mean, it could be a shootout. It could be a defensive battle. I don't know, guys. But the thing of it is that I would start all my starters, St. Brown, Laporta, everyone. Even Ferguson on the Cowboys. So if you have any of those guys on either team, start them, guys. You just have to. You don't know. Could be a large... You have to go down with the ship. Always play the players that brought you there. And don't get jiggy with your teams. Just play who brought you there. The players who brought you there. That's my. Like I said, I've been doing fantasy football for years. I have multiple teams. I know what I'm doing. I'm in right now 41 championship rounds out of 62 teams that I had. So keep going, guys. Keep going. Listen to me and trust me. Listen to me. Sunday's games, we have Miami going into the Baltimore Ravens. Mind you, there's a lot of people hurt. Even Tua has a thumb and a quadricep issue that's going on. And, Mozart, he's under, I guess has an injury report on him. He's questionable. Waddle is questionable. I think Waddle's even going to be out. So I would just be careful, listen to the injury reports before the games. Unfortunately, you have games before your game, so you have to make a decision. I wouldn't play Waddle. I would not play Waddle this week. Tyreek Hill, I don't know. I maybe play him. I don't know if he's still injured or not. And they are playing the Ravens at home. The Ravens are at home. And I just don't see the Ravens defense giving up much. They didn't give much to the San Francisco 49ers, and the Niners are a much better team than a Dolphins. And a little thing about the Dolphins, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. I was listening to the Herd talk, Colin Herd. I listen to him all the time. He's got some great opinions, but his opinions are backed up by facts, right? And facts, stats are facts to me. Stats are facts, And the Dolphins haven't won a playoff game. Have not won a playoff game in 23 years. 23 years. The 14 teams that are about to go into the playoffs, they have the lowest power rankings of all 14. That includes a 7-9 teams. That includes the teams that even have losing records. The Dolphins have the lowest power ranking going into this year's playoffs, right? That's true. Another truth, okay? The Dolphins are 11-4, right? Only one of those wins came from they beat a winning team. All the rest of their wins, 10 wins, came against losing teams. The Dolphins had the weakest schedule in the league this year. The weakest. And now they're playing the Ravens. Now you're going to find out, everyone, how good the Dolphins are, because they're literally playing a team that's going to make it into the Super Bowl that I predicted. And I still think that they're going to make it to the Super Bowl. So, I'm sorry. They've played the weakest schedule in the league. And they are, bar none, they have the lowest, like I said, power ranking going into this year's playoffs. So that's just truth. That's truth. Tyreek Hill called Colin Hurd a thug for telling the truth. Tyreek, man, just face it that the Dolphins' schedule was the weakest this year. Oh, wow, you made 2,000 yards for the season. Bravo for you, but guess what, brother? Guess what? Almost 2,000 or whatever, all those yards that you have, let's just see what you have. Let's just go. I'm going to go to see the stats because, I just hate to start spewing out stuff without stats. Let's go stats. Dolphins, all right? Tyreek Hill, 1,641 yards. 12 touchdowns. Fantastic. Great year. Phenomenal year. But guess what? The majority of those games that you played, all the wins were against losing teams. So, when you look at the stats, when I look at the stats like this, even Tua, 70%, 75%, 70.5%, 71% completion rating, which is awesome. 4,214 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Fantastic. Congratulations. I think that's great. Really I do. But there is always a but behind it, right? Look at the teams that they've played. Look at the teams that they've been playing. The weakest schedule. Of course he's going to have all those yards against the weakest schedule. Try to play the Buffalo Bills schedule or the Kansas City Chiefs schedule, right? You wouldn't be 11-4. I guarantee you. Guarantee. All 4 losses would come from winning teams. Man. So anyway, get back to fantasy football, everyone. That's what this show is all about. And that's what it's all about. That's for sure. Let's just get to it. Like I said, I'm going to the Dolphins. I would play maybe Tyreek Hill. I would be very questionable to play Tua, and especially against the Ravens defense. Play the Ravens defense if you have it. That's for sure. Lamar Jackson, play him. play OBJ, play Zay Flowers, play Likely, play Edwards. Just go for it, guys. You have to. I think the Ravens are going to have a great game, especially at home against the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to raise their ugly heads and they're going to get beat. The next game we have the New England Patriots going into Buffalo. Buffalo. It's going to be nasty weather, nasty weather. Perfect for the Patriots and perfect for the Buffalo Bills. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I still would have to start Josh Allen and Diggs and Gabe Davis and James Cook and their defense. You never know. They could break it wide open, especially because the New England Patriots offense is just terrible. The Bills defense is great. There's going to be some turnovers for the Bills defense, and definitely, I would just definitely start the Bills defense. So, it's just definitely, that's, guys, the New England Patriots, I wouldn't start anyone. Sorry. If you have any New England Patriots, don't even think about starting them. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe Zeke as a running back. That's about it. The Atlanta Falcons going into the Chicago Bears. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Algier, Bijan Robinson, maybe Drake London. I would definitely start, Fields, Hebert, DJ Moore. Now you have to check and see if DJ Moore is actually active because he had an injury report on him. But man, I mean, think about it. I mean, he's playing out of his mind, especially for being on the Chicago Bears. And I bless he was out for a few games too. Moore's at 1,141 yards. Kmet, I would start Kmet. Like I said, Hebert, you have to start Justin Fields. On the Falcons, Bijan Robinson, Algier, Drake London, I wouldn't really start, Kyle Pitts. If that's all you have, start him, if that's all you have, So, I just don't, he's not like the superstar that everyone thought he was going to be. We have the Titans going into Houston. I probably would start Henry and Hopkins, but I would definitely start the Texans. Have to start C.J. Stroud. Have to. The guy's a juggernaut. He has 20 touchdowns, 3,631 yards, 62% completion. But guess what, guys? He's been out a few games, and he's still at 3,631 yards. Pierce is coming on. So definitely look and see if Nico Collins is hurt or not, or start him. Only if I don't know if he's hurt or not still. Check the injury report. Do your due diligence. The next game, the Raiders and the Colts. I would definitely start the Raiders defense. They've been scoring big time. And, maybe Devontae Adams. I know Jacobs is going to be back. Jacobs hasn't had the best of years. He's been hurt. He has 805 yards, and he's been hurt most of the year. Adams, 972 yards. Myers is a good pickup. Myers gets in the end zone. So I would start Myers, Jacobs, and would not start O'Connell. On the Colts, Gardner Minshew, no. Jonathan Taylor, I'd probably start him. I don't know if Zay Moss is actually active. You'd have to start. And Pittman's a great pickup. I would start Pittman, that's for sure. And go from there, guys. Once again, this is the finals for the fantasy football right now. The Carolina Panthers, this is ugly, guys. This is real ugly for the Carolina Panthers. It really is. I don't know. Hubbard, I start him. Thielen, 964 yards for the year for Thielen, 95 receptions. Definitely start Thielen. I want to start Trevor Lawrence. ETN, you have to start ETN because that's who he is. Calvin Ridley or Ingram, they both have yards, 871 yards. I would start Ingram. Maybe Ridley just because he's a home run threat. Ingram, 98 catches. That's huge. So he's going to score you some points if you have him on your team. I think this is going to be an upset, guys. I really do. I think the Carolina Panthers might even beat the Jags because of all the injuries from the Jags. That's for sure. We have the Rams going into the Giants, and mind you, if you look at the last 5 games, there's one quarterback leads the league in the last 5 games. And who is that? Matthew Stafford. 14 touchdowns, 1 interception. Matthew Stafford leads the league. And QBR, 114. Last 5 games, 14 touchdowns, QBR 114. Wow. I mean, you got to start Matthew Stafford. Stafford, you have to start him. And Kyren Williams, oh my God, Williams, over 1,000 yards, and he's missed so many games this year. He's huge, guys. He's huge. Nakua, start him. Cooper Kupp, start him. On the Giants, Barkley, I would have to start him, right? And then maybe Slayton and Waller, just maybe. And I would definitely, I'm saying maybe. If you get someone better, start them. The Eagles, you'd have to. I mean, the Eagles are the Eagles. You got to start Jalen Hurts. You have to. I mean, they're playing the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, that would be a fun start. Maybe Connors, McBride, I would start. And then on the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Swift, A.J. Brown, and D. Smith, man. I would start. You have to start those guys and their defense, especially going against the Cardinals. The next game we have is the Saints and the Bucks. I would definitely start Baker Mayfield. He's been hot. I mean, red hot. And Derek Carr, Kamara, I would have to start him. Taysom Hill, I mean, he's a quarterback and a tight end. Sometimes he scores big and sometimes he doesn't. Like last week, he didn't score that much. Oaklave, I'd start him. Shaheed, he's a home run threat. I mean, he's only had 4 touchdowns this year, but still he's a home run threat. I would start him. On the Bucks, I'd definitely start Baker Mayfield. He's been red hot lately. Rashid White, he's been hot lately too. And then Evans, have to start Evans. Godwin, that's a good game, guys. So I think the Bucks are going to win this game, and I think it's going to be a great high-scoring game. Baker's just going to unload, especially playing at home. And then we have the Commanders at home against the 49ers. Wow. And the Niners, Brock Purdy, I'd have to start him. Guy's at 69% passer rating, completion percentage, And definitely would start Brock. McCaffrey, you have to start him. He's got 1,395 yards in rushing, 14 touchdowns. Deebo Samuels, I'd start him. Ayuk, start him. Kittle, start. I mean, come on, you guys. Everyone and anyone on the San Francisco 49ers, you'd have to start. I would check the injury report because there was some injuries on the Niners. If you want to get to the Washington Commanders, I don't know, man. McLaurin, maybe C. Samuel. I wouldn't start too many. McLaurin. That's it. That's the only one I would start. Next, because it's really ugly. It's really ugly to look at the Commanders. I mean, they're 32nd defense in the league. They're last. So, get ready, Niners, to, score some points. If you have any Niner, guy in the Niners for your fantasy football. All right. I mean, it's pouring out in Los Angeles, guys, and the waves are just the highest that I've ever seen them. So excuse the background noise. It's pouring out right now. And the Steelers going into the Seattle Seahawks. Not too many people I was starting the Steelers. I really wouldn't, guys. I mean, Najee Harris, Warren, Pickens. Pickens definitely, Najee and Warren, if that's all you have with the Seahawks. Geno Smith, I would start him. Walker, the third, start him. And DK and Lockett, definitely start those two, especially DK. And then we're going to round this up. We have the Chargers going into Denver. Of course, Russell Wilson is sitting, unfortunately, for Russell. Start Eckler. Keenan Allen's out. Get rid of him. He's done for the season. With the Denver Broncos, I mean, they're 30th ranked defense. The Chargers aren't that good either. They're 29th. So it's the worst defense against the worst defense. Maybe Sutton, Judy, but I don't know. Russell's not going to be behind the helm, so don't expect much in the offense. The next game, we have the Bengals and the Chiefs, and I'm sure you guys didn't make it to the finals or to even the championship game if you have any type of Denver Bronco on your team. Give me a break, really? And we have the Bengals going into Kansas City playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Mixon, I would start. Jamar Chase, I think, is still out, guys. So T. Higgins is available. I would probably start him. Mahomes, I have to start Mahomes. He's at 67% completion, 38 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Pacheco, I would start him. Just be careful. Start Kelsey. Rashid Rice, start him. It's going to be an interesting game. I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to pull it out. I think Mahomes is going to have an awesome game. I think he's going to have a really, really big game. I just have that feeling. And Kelsey, too. So the last game to talk about would be New Year's Eve night. The Green Bay Packers going into Minnesota, playing Minnesota Vikings. And, it's going to be interesting. I mean, Jordan Love, have to start him if that's the only quarterback that you have. If you could pick up Flacco, pick him up quickly. But, a lot of people are on top of that, right? And they already have him. 27 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Both of the running backs are hurt, Dillon and Jones. Dobbs and Reed and Wicks on the Packers. The Vikings, Hawkinson, I think he just got hurt. So Addison and Jefferson, have to start those two. Chandler, I would start him. And they have a new quarterback. They're playing musical chairs with the quarterback. The Vikings. I just don't get it. I mean, they're 7-8. They could make it to the playoffs, and they're playing musical chairs with their quarterback. I don't get it. I don't just get it. No wonder they're 7-8. But they're still going to win this game. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the Calvin Dean Show. Happy New Year to everyone. May all your dreams and joys come true. Take care. Stay safe. And I will see you next week. Thank you so much. Have a great day.